Hey everyone. Alright, today's video is going to be over how to find the area of a trapezoid. So your objective, you will be able to calculate the area of a trapezoid. Alright, so a trapezoid is a quadrilateral that only has one pair of parallel sides. So keep in mind, parallel means you have two lines that will never meet. So for example, in this trapezoid right here, we see that this bottom line and this top line are parallel. They could keep going forever and they're not going to meet. Now this set of sides on the left and the right, if those were to continue going, they would eventually meet, so they're not parallel. On this trapezoid, we see that the left and the right side is parallel, and then the top and the bottom are not. So again, it's got that one pair of parallel sides, so it is a trapezoid. Alright. On a trapezoid, you actually have two bases. I know we've been working with one on our other quadrilaterals and on triangles, but for a trapezoid, it's going to have two bases, and those are always going to be parallel. So those are the parallel sides we just talked about. Now, whenever you hear the word bass, I want you to think about a bass guitar. A bass guitar has 4 strings. And I know my lines are not perfect, but the 4 strings on that bass guitar are parallel to each other. So whenever you look at a trapezoid, to identify the bases, try to see, okay, which ones look like they could be the strings on a bass guitar. Now, as we have been talking about, the height is perpendicular to the base, and that's actually perpendicular to both bases. So as you see here, the height forms a right angle with base 1 and base 2. Same here. It forms a right angle with base 2 and with base 1. Now to find the area of a trapezoid, it's 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height, or we know that taking half of something means to divide it by 2, so this is the formula you're going to see me using in the video. I think it's more understandable this way. So we are going to add the two bases together, then multiply by the height, and then after that divide it all by 2. Alright, so our steps to finding the area of a trapezoid, we're going to identify the parts, we'll write the formula, substitute the information, and solve. Alright, example 1. Alright, so we have this trapezoid. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to identify the two bases. So we want to identify base 1, base 2. So those are going to be the two parallel lines. So as you can see here, this side runs parallel with this side. So I'm going to say that base 1 is 3 and base 2 is 8. It really doesn't matter if you get these mixed up because you're just adding them. So you can add them in any order and you're going to get the same thing. Now the height is perpendicular to the two bases. So as you can see here, this side makes a right angle with that side of 8 and that side of 3. So the height would have to be 4. Okay, now let's write our formula. Area equals, and in parentheses we put base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. So remember, in order of operations, you have to solve what's in the parentheses first. So let's rewrite this. So that's going to be 3 plus 8 times a height of 4, and that's all going to be divided by 2. Alright, let's solve parentheses first. 3 plus 8 is 11. So that would be 11 times 4 divided by 2. We know that 11 times 4 is 44. And 44 divided by 2 equals 22. So the area is 22 feet squared. Alright, example 2, we have another trapezoid. So let's go ahead and identify the parts. So I want to find base 1 and base 2 and the height. Let me put the height in red like I did on the last one. Alright, so for the bases, we're looking for those two lines that run parallel. So as we can see here, the bottom and the top run parallel to each other. So I'm going to say base 1 is 10 and base 2 is 22. The height, that's going to be perpendicular to those bases. So we can see that this line right here forms a right angle with the bottom and a right angle with the top. So it would be 8. So our formula, area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. So now I'm going to substitute our numbers in. So we have 10 plus 22 times a height of 8, all divided by 2. We solve what's in parentheses first. 10 plus 22 would be 32. So we're going to have 32 times 8 divided by 2. And I'm going to work that out over here. 32 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. So we get 256 over 2, and I'm going to divide. 2 goes into 2 one time with nothing left over. 2 goes into 5 2 times with 1 left over, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. So the area of this trapezoid would be 128 feet squared. All right, example 3, we have another trapezoid. So we're going to identify base 1, base 2, and the height. All right, so again, we can see that on this trapezoid, the top and the bottom run parallel to each other. So I'm going to say base 1 is 13, and base 2 is 29. So the height is going to intersect both of those perpendicularly. So we see that this line right here intersects base 2 at a perpendicular angle, and it intersects base 1 perpendicularly. So the height would be 15. Now we write the formula. Base 1 plus base 2 in parentheses times the height, all divided by 2. And let's substitute in this information. So we have a base 1 of 13 plus a base 2 of 29. After we add that, we're going to multiply it by 15 and then divide it all by 2. All right, 13 plus 29, that is 42. So we're going to have 42 times 15, and then we're going to divide it by 2. So I'm going to work that out over here. All right, so 2 times 5 is 10. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. And we're going to add that together to get 630. So that's 630 divided by 2, and let's go ahead and work that out. Okay, 2 goes into 6 3 times with nothing left over. 2 goes into 3 1 time with 1 left over, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. So the area would be 315, and we don't have any units, so I'm just going to put units squared. Okay, now it is time for you to try. I want you to pause the video right now and draw this trapezoid and all the dimensions in your spiral. Okay, once you have drawn that, then you can answer the U-try question. Make sure that you do show all of your work in your notes and you get the question answered on Educanon. Make sure you bring your notes with you to class, and I will see you next class day.